Hi guys and welcome to a new round of State of Survival with your favorite monkey. Today we check out this setup where it's all about if you're going on a full Berserk march or if you go on a mixed march, and mixed march I really refer to Shizuka. Why about Shizuka? So there are different reasons. For example, if you see that match, it has enough rounds, it's quite a balanced one, close fight between each, but here we have a full Berserk march versus a full control march. But what we also see in that fight here is that the regenerating spring of Jonas did not activate at all. And let's go back to the fight again. Well, there should be activation of regenerating spring, but we also will see more of such things in that example. Here we have a fight where Sky sent a track out, and that is a mixed march, a horrible mixed march, but we have also Shizuka in that setup, and this is a full Berserk march. And what we're going to see is that literally some of it did not activate it, and some Tempest Arms activated, and there will be also an explanation for that one. Because here we have regenerating spring again every 4 turns, and we will check out Shizuka. And we have marking trap on it, and here it's also every 4 turns, but the difference is this is a passive skill, so it just applies stack of assassination mark to all enemy squads. Each stack increase damage taken by 12% for 3 turns. So that is also in round 5, 6, and 7. So even if it gets silenced in round 4, 5, 6, 7, it will still, because it increased the damage of everything else that is not silenced. And why is, for example, overpowered doing damage in that case? Because the fight and my riders last longer than Shizuka. We can see that here. Her rider died in round 6, so all of it could still do damage in round 7 and 8 here and so on. Why is Shizuka a thing? Because I got more often asked why people are using mixed formations and why it's successful. That is because of Shizuka, and Shizuka needs the enhancement on the first skill, this one here on the top, because then it is not, this part is interesting, but here the second part of her skill also fires jam rounds at the first 2 enemy rows, which are infantry and riders, every 4 attacks, silencing them for 3 turns. So literally, round 4, 5, 6 is, and 7, literally, is it so it is constantly setting your infantry and rider on silence. But if you want to face that one with a full Berserk March, there is a thing that you can use against. And that is called Peerless Power. Peerless Power on infantry, let me search for a PP. Well, who cares? It's a rare skill, but what it does is after releasing an active skill, the hero gains immunity to silence and a damage bonus depending on what type of for 3 turns. So immunity of silence is exactly what you want, and that you will put on an infantry hero, just needs 1 on the 2 slots as Tempest Arm, and also for the rider, and then you can counter that one. So all the advantage of Shizuka in a mixed march is gone by that. And by that, you take off the advantage that Shizuka brings in that fight by silencing, and also have still the full Berserk march advantage by having all Berserks. So you can counter it if you have 2 peerless powers, 1 for infantry, 1 for Berserk, then you can counter Shizuka. But if your opponent doesn't have any kind of peerless power, then you can even boost the impact of Shizuka by using lethal landmines, because your opponent is silenced, and it's silenced on infantry and rider, so the hero deals an additional 200% damage to silenced enemies. So that one could quite help and hit hard if your opponent doesn't have peerless power, and that is how you can counter that setup by using full Berserk March, put on PP, so peerless power, against Shizuka marches. And if you're using Shizuka and your opponent doesn't use peerless power, put on lethal landmine, and you will boost the damage output of the mixed march in that case. I hope this helps you to understand why you face more often the Shizuka setup, but have in mind that is only really good against Berserk style, because the resilient style is most likely using passive skills, and you can't silence passive skills really successful. I hope this helps you. Goodbye.